So let me show you a series of photographs, and do let me know in the comment section below if you think that all of these images were shot with ambient light. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait and wedding photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So you saw those images, let me know in the comment section below if you think all those images were shot with just purely ambient light. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how I used artificial light to make it look as natural as possible by taking you behind the scenes during an actual wedding shoot and show you how I shot each and every one of those images. But before anything else, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel and would want to learn more about off-camera flash photography, or maybe just photography in general, then this channel is for you. So you might want to consider subscribing, and while you're at it, click that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. So let's start. This is the light that I was using most of the time. This is the Nanlite Forza 60B with a 36-degree projection attachment. So you could see I had my existing ambient light, which was coming from the sun, and I had my setup here of the shoes, and this particular light had a pattern to create lights and shadows. Because it is very important for me whenever I am shooting to make sure that there are shadows and highlights in all my images. So if I'm lacking shadows, I will create shadows. If I'm lacking highlights, I will create highlights. And this particular modifier, the projection mount, is really perfect for that particular purpose. So you can see the highlights and shadows that I'm creating here. Again, it's being projected using this projection mount. And of course, the output of this particular image is this. You could see here, these are the shadows, and these are the highlights created by that projection mount. Without this one would just be a very flat image. Yes, I may have some shadows here, but it won't give me this type of 3D look because this 3D look was created by highlights and shadows. I also like doing what I call post moments. In other words, I want to create a photograph that looks like a moment, but in reality, I actually post it. In this next photograph that I'm going to be showing you, I basically asked the makeup artist to mimic the brush strokes that he or she would do on my bride's face, and I used the light. Well, let me show you. The makeup artist already set up LED lights that were daylight balanced. In other words, they were 5600 Kelvin to match the color of the existing ambient light. So I decided to use it, but just position it better for the shot that I wanted to create. Again, here I asked the makeup artist to mimic the brush strokes that he would normally do on my bride's face, but this time I positioned him so that he is not blocking the view from the mirror to my camera, which gave me this output. Notice the balance that I was able to get from this light to my existing ambient light. And again, I positioned the makeup artist here so that he is still in frame and at the same time mimic the brush strokes he was doing on my bride's face, so it becomes a moment that was actually posed. Then again, let's head on to the details. I brought out my Nanlite projection mount again with a 60B. And this is how the scene actually looked like. So I had my projection mount here, and of course, I was shooting the bridal gown. Now look at the bridal gown. The light was actually beautiful already. However, the problem was, once again, I wanted to create lights and shadows. That's why I had my projection mount there to create lights and shadows. And this is the output of that scene. You see how I was able to create some patterns in the gown and still make it look as natural as possible, as if light was just shining through a window with a bit of gobo here and there, but very soft and subtle. And that's the beautiful thing about the Nanlite projection mount. It allows me to control the intensity of my shadow, and more often than not, I want it as subtle as possible. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for me to thank also my friends from MQ Lighting for always supporting the channel. MQ Lighting is the official distributor of the most trusted brands in the Philippines for photo, video, and lighting equipment, such as Nanlite, FX Lion, Atomos, Arri, Manfrotto, and many more. If you are from the Philippines and are looking for the best deals for gear, check out the link that I will put in the description of this video. So with that out of the way, check out what I did in the same location and the same light, except this time I had the bride come in. So once again, I had my Nanlite projection mount here with a 60B, and you can see here, these are the highlights and shadows that I am creating using this projection mount. It's very subtle, as if it were really just coming from the window, creating those beautiful patterns on the wall. And this is the final image of that. Again, the subtle lights and shadows here, giving that nice depth, that 3D depth. And look here. It may seem a bit more obvious here because I wasn't able to get the whole part, but it's nice also because it works as if it was just peeping through a window here. Afterwards, I changed my light to the Nanlite Forza 150B because I was going to be diffusing it using this one, the Nanlite Lantern Softbox Forza 60. Now I use this modifier primarily if I want really nice soft light that just spreads all over the place. So I had to put it in a general direction where my existing ambient light was coming from to just basically supplement the light. This time, I wanted to remove that lights and shadow play, but rather just create beautiful directional soft light because I was now shooting some group photos. So this is how I had it positioned in relation to the group, and here I am posing them. Now, if you want to know how I post group photos, I already made a video about that. I'll put the link in the description below. And this is the output of that scene. From there, I decided to get a bit more creative, and once again, I have my Nanlite here with a projection mount, and I went inside the bathroom, and this is what we were able to do. I took out the pattern and I just used the flags that were built in the modifier, and look at how it is. So again, it's a small space. I made her stay in the bathtub, and this is the light created from the projection mount. I was able to mimic the look again of another window, and this is the final output of that. And after that, it was time for the bride to wear her wedding gown, which then led to the formal bridal portraits. Now this scene is the one that will surprise you a lot. We've got beautiful natural light coming from over here already. And one would think light coming from a big window like that would be perfect. However, there is one thing that's very important also aside from the quality of the light. It is the direction of the light. Now, I was shooting the bride, if you notice, more often than not the right side of her face because that is her profile. So I had her face towards her right most of the time, and the door or the window was here on the left side. However, the light was coming from here. In other words, even if you've got beautiful window light like that, the direction of the light really matters. So having the light coming from here, it did not really go around her face. That's why this is what I did. I had the Nanlite 30C here to supplement my existing ambient light and add more wraparound light on her face, and therefore giving me this image. And that's how I use artificial light whenever I am shooting and I want it to look as natural looking as possible. So did you guys get it right? Let me know in the comment section below, and I do hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell. Now, if you want to see more of my images, you could always find me on Instagram. It's at Jiggie Alejandrino. Okay, till the next video.